Hold on, y'all. I gotta do camera stuff. Let's see. I've been trying to get my music on these two stereos I have, and nothing's working. Just let me adjust these cameras. You know, you gotta change. You gotta change. There's all kind of changes, but I always say change before change changes you, or change makes its changes. So, great rising. Get your bikes, get your mats, get your chairs, jump on your treadmill like I'm doing, and let's get ready for this 45-minute walk. Okay, let me turn this off. Okay. There we oh. Let's see. I have technical difficulties. Great rising, great rising. I know Facebook people are not looking for me because, y'all, it take a lot of time to be tagging all them folks. Let me tell you something. It take a lot of time to be tagging folks. So, great rising, y'all. Ooh, let me speed up the pace again. Thanks for coming on this 45-minute walk with me. Yes. How about a new angle? For a year and a half, we've been walking side by side. Now I can face you and do stuff with my hands and not have to worry about falling over or nothing like that. You know what I mean? It feels good. Happy June. This is also Pride Month. Yes, indeed. It's also Pride Month. So, come on for the walk. Whoo, child. Happy to be walking, y'all. Happy to be walking. Even though my thighs and my calves are getting so thick that sometimes the pain is unreal. But then when I look at them, I say, okay, I'm all right with that. I'm over 25 years going to the gym. It still remains the same. No pain, no gain. Yeah. I want to thank y'all for commenting and sharing. And tell a friend, subscribe. Thanks for being my friend. And here we are in the basement. I could not take down my cherry blossoms. I'm not ready for them to leave. In my world, cherry blossoms are still in. Behind me is my Juneteenth. Now, I know this is gay pride, and the dearest person to me in my 20s was a transgender woman. And I had many gay friends over the course of my life that have had a profound impact on my life. All good, all good. That's why I don't hold for that stuff. What do they call it, gay bashing, stuff like that. They used to bash this too, remember? So, but that's why I didn't put up a rainbow. But I am doing something. I have a conversational hour that I do on Fridays at 4:30. Was Thursdays, I changed it to Fridays, where we talk LGBTQ. And this Friday, I'll be reading as far as I can get, because I'm only going for an hour. Find out that it's a lot of talking. And I'll be reading it and putting it into the record and out of the file cabinets and dust them off The last time I had them, we was at the village gate. So I bring them out and dust them off and tell some history about them. And then another wonderful thing happened in June. I'm really starting the production of the podcast, The Pond Moves First, which is about the production of the show Neighbors, which I wrote and was the executive producer of, cameraman, co-editor, etc., etc., etc. And the podcast is about that. It'll be me and chess coach Victor Morena from out of Yonkers. And I met him, I think it was our 5th season of filming Neighbors. And y'all gonna love that because you know what? Let me tell you something. And don't turn away. Oh God, here she goes. Look at here. Look at here. When I was in that cult, I just didn't know. They tell you how not to feel. They spend so much time telling you how not to feel. If you feel pain and you cried, they'll say Jesus wept with nails. And you'll say, oh man, I got no right to cry. So you take it and you put it in certain places like that. So that's what I have done most of my life. And when I produced the show Neighbors, it was frustrating. I can't even tell you. The only thing that kept me going was the fact that I lived in Mount Vernon, where at times there was up to 12, 15 people getting killed in a year. There was times that those 12 or 15 people, 6 of them could be in 1 week within 4 blocks of my neighborhood. All you heard was ambulances. And yes, it got so bad they had to pull in the helicopters. Whoo, child. And I was like, what is going on? I didn't realize it was the cults and stuff. I wasn't that far progressed. But I said, you know, these folks ain't thinking, these kids are, the parents ain't doing the, you know, the talking like they should to them. And I tell you, that's how Neighbors came to be. I said, well, maybe if they learn chess, it, you know, promotes critical thinking. And it was a long process, going back and forth to the library. But I'm going to put it all in the podcast. But anyway, what I'm telling you this for, that I never reacted as I should. I should have cussed folks out. I should have screamed, holler. I should have said, racist, racist. It's because I'm an old black woman. You know, in America, if the titties ain't hanging out and the ass hanging over, they can't hear you. That's cult mentality. If you're not pleasing to the cult leaders, you don't get nowhere. So, I'm a plain Jane. I'm a plain Jane. And they don't like that. So, it was a lot of racism, a lot of bullshit. They didn't have any chess programs. They were advertising chess programs, and they were telling me when I got there, oh, the city officials, oh, this is great. We have a chess program. And I go there, and all I had was a damn chessboard. But it was put into the budget. But I just shut my mouth. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I wanted to say, y'all bullshitting. So anyway, when I was putting the podcast together, I was like still, you know, still putting it in that department. Oh, yes, I want to talk about how lovely it was filming Neighbors, running back and forth. You know, getting talk shit to on the telephone all the time. Question why. Why? Why, if I ain't no chess professional, why do I care? They never could jump in my head and see for 10 years all the bodies, all the bodies that I saw with sheets over in Mount Vernon of young people. I couldn't get that out of my head. So they couldn't see what was driving me, what was fueling me. But in this podcast, I'm telling it. I'm telling it. I'm telling it. From me having to go to get a state representative to get Optimum to keep their commitment before I sued them for fraud. That's what you didn't see in Neighbors, but you're going to find out on the podcast. So as I'm sitting down thinking, what am I going to do with this podcast? And I was like, well, I just talk about the kids and where they at now. And if everybody is happy, and everybody's doing good, and then it'll be really nice. And then, I can find out how the kids are. We can promote chess again. Maybe the chess song will pick up. And something inside me said, girl, you done left out the colt. You done left out the colt. Mentally, you left out. Physically, you left out a long time ago. But mentally, maybe 7 years ago, but deep down, like cut out, like the seed of the cancer cut out, maybe close to a year ago. Or for you guys who are listening, maybe 6 months ago. So I don't have to have that facade of Jesus wept. So why should I say anything about how inconvenienced I am? I was totally inconvenienced. I had to fight racism all the way through. Why you? Season 3, when I got those social workers to talk about bullying and had them come in, I had to talk about suing people with the Board of Education. Because I know they didn't want the shit done because of racism. And because it was me. Why does the old black woman want to go around teaching critical thinking and helping people? So, you see how easy I fell into that? That felt so good. That felt good. Please like, comment, share, tell a friend, tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin. Vicki on and she walking. We walking 45 minutes. We have time we have to make up. And I'm no longer doing a half hour on Saturday. So, and in between, Coach Victor is going to talk chess. And we'll infuse neighbors in and interview all those that we can find to interview. But this week we'll be working on our preview for the podcast. So that's today and tomorrow. Then on Friday, for Bed-Stuy Brownstone Stories, I read as much as I can, because I'm always going to give homage to Miss Martin. I'm always going to give a shout out to the community. And see, that's another thing. Even racism in the community. Why this old black woman who's straight want to help us, donate us? I wrote letters. I gave money. I was big involved. No one could understand why. I'm not of the community. I'm not in the community. But they all understand that as a young girl scratching my way through with a daughter in New York City, it was my gaze and my mother, Miss Martin, my transgender mother, and I'm all woman. Take a look and see. But I came from a cult and I was all beaten down. And I didn't know how to be a woman. It was horrible to be a woman. It was In the Baptist cult I left, titties was horrible, though all the men wanted to feel on them. Your vagina was horrible, though with dresses you have easy access. I finally found out why you have dresses, easy access. And I finally put it together why my grandmother took you and put you in the most tightest girdles. I can't even tell you. I would be walking to church having to hold onto trees ready to pass out because the girdle was so tight. But I figured out what she was doing because accidentally a man or boy's head could easily swing and find their way up your dress. Like a miracle. Next thing you know, you feel something hitting on your vagina. And just somebody standing next to you. So I knew dresses is easy access. But in a small way of rebelling, my grandmother put us in the tightest of girdles. So even though those hands would, accidentally come up the dress, or that hand would accidentally rub that butt, that girdle was on it so tight, they really had to use their imagination. Well, we know men's. So, so I would be, when I met Martin, that's what he saw. And Martin she was just happy to be a woman. She was so happy to find her center, and at that time, when I'm talking the early 80s, like 80, no, yeah, like 80, even 79, no, 80. They could only get, because Martin could only get hormones. Because she had a little, like itty bitty titty committee. But she just loved being a woman. She loved everything about it. She twirled. That's what got me the first time I saw the Housewives of Atlanta. Wasn't into them. But Kendra used to always something twirl. And when she would twirl. And the first time I saw it, I was like, wow. Again, hidden in memory. I can't think. And I was like, twirl, I get it, twirl. Be a woman, move, twirl. Miss Martin loved being a woman. Twirled all the time. I guess you call Miss Martin a bit of a flamer. Loved it. And we would twirl. We used to do the catwalk. And with the phone books on our head. Y'all probably don't remember what the phone books are. With the phone books balanced on our head. And she used to always, because from my grandmother, I used to buy those Playtex bras, the pointy ones that look like Madonna's bras. And Martin would always come and push them in, and he used to adjust them. He would just take his hand casually, put it in my lip, jiggle them around, move the bra this way, move the bra, and literally round out the bra. I was so impressed. I almost wanted to wake up in the morning, run over his house and say, could you adjust my my chest, my breast into this bra? Love being a woman. Love being a woman. And I don't know, I can't say if it was for men because we were together, Martin and I, but not together like that, like friends. So I don't think it was all for the men. He just loved being a woman. And from our association, and then over time from my association with other gays, yes, they taught me how to love to be a woman. The cult told me I was cursed. The community said, oh my goodness, being a woman is a beautiful thing. I was like, really? Really? Yes. The community, LGBT community said, whoa, having breasts, that's awesome. And I was like, really? Really? I thought they were cursed. I remember the first time I told Martin that. He just, like, poor child. The first time Martin came over and talked to me about menstrual cycles, I sat there and blushed. And he said, what's wrong with you? Don't you get one? I was like, that's a curse, Martin. You can't get the curse. He was like, curse? He was cursed. Girl, what you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? So, I will be doing my homage to the LGBTQA community through my program, Brownstone, Bed-Stuy Brownstone Stories, by reading the first, I only have two, one that plays about the community, and I'll be reading one of them this Friday at 4:30. We won't get through all of it here. Yeah, I'll break well. Oof. Tyrone told me there's something over here I could push. I told Tyrone. Let's see. This is a good show. I'm going to switch speakers because this one doesn't do what I want it to do. Oh, one break, right? See, Maya? Happy Juneteenth. Yes, and this one says Juneteenth. Free-ish. Free-ish since 1865. Let's knock this out, y'all. Let's knock this out. And we're back. Oh, you know what? I wanted to take care of that YouTube camera. Hold on, y'all. Keep walking, keep exercising. I'm thinking my head is cut off. I don't like that cut off feeling. Okay. All right now. Let me be careful. I don't want to go viral the wrong way. I don't want to be viral the wrong way. So here it is. This is my cherry blossoms. I don't want to let them go. Okay. I have the camera in front now. I think I'm going to keep it in front to see how it goes for the month of June. You know, I'm so used to walking inside for about a year and a half. I look to the side when walking. Please like, comment, share. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Ha ha, tell an auntie, tell an uncle, cousin. Yeah, y'all. Oh. So, I told y'all why we walked 45 minutes. These are yesterday's notes. Oh, yeah. When we was a child, that's why I'm so happy to put the Juneteenth behind there. When I was a kid, the adults could talk about, you know, enslavement. Like my mother said, I ain't no slave no more. Or we ain't slave no more. And then everybody would echo, they want us to work for free. But we ain't slaves no more. That's what they said. And if you would go and ask them, Mommy, we were slaves? They said, shut up, shut up. Shut up. And I said to myself, well, you was just talking about it. Now remember, not in school, not a word in school. Not a word taught in school. I was in East New York, Brooklyn. Not a word. What is it, 62, 63? Not a word. Just the adults talking about how bad it was. You know, and you just sit there and you listen and you don't have words or meanings to understand what the adults are saying, but you do take it in. So, I want to walk faster, but I got to talk to y'all. I'm not so young that I can walk fast and talk to y'all. So, it wasn't much talked about. So when I went down south and started really learning black history, here in New York, all I learned was European history. The atrocities of World War I, World War II, everything like that. No mention of enslavement in this country. And a lot about World War II. And I used to, as a child, I used to say, well, is World War II a state in the United States? Because we always talk about it a lot. And then it's like a war. So then I was like, did the war happen here because we talk about it a lot? Like, no, stupid. It happened in Europe. Well, we sure do talk about it a lot here. And then when I went down south, and it was enslavement, that's what was going on here. I said, oh, well, it took a few years, because you can't put it together right away. You don't have the language, you don't have the ability, and on and on and on. But they didn't talk about it. They, amongst themselves, my mother went to the March on Washington. She let us wear afros. She allowed us to say Afro this, Afro that. We took African dancing. We could do that. But enslavement, it wasn't talked about, because just like when a woman gets raped and she feels that she's the reason why she was raped, not that the animal instinct that men cannot control, an animal raped her. That's why we can now put him in jail. They put him behind a cage. But that's how they felt about enslavement. So it was only talked about amongst themselves, whispered about. And I often wonder, I was like, well, why is that something we got to be ashamed about? We roll ourselves over here and throw ourselves into enslavement. So, it wasn't talked about a lot. When I wrote my book, Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil, if you want an African theme park, which the editor at that time, Barbara Blood, said, no one will understand. The title is too long. Blah, 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 blah. And the book was Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. And that was it. And no one knew it. And of course I had the drawing of the theme park on the front of the book. But in the book, I often pondered, and I know now, but I wrote that book in 1997. And the question that I had was, why could we never celebrate being free from enslavement? Now, I'm not talking about, like, I lived in Mount Vernon, and I hadn't been there 2 weeks, and the neighbors were having a big party. And I thought it was nice. And I was like, oh, y'all having a party? What's the party about? It was a going to jail party. And I was like, never heard of going to jail party. Is that something you party about? I thought it was punishment. We never had a party every time I got my ass punished. And so Not that type of party, but I said we were free. Why couldn't we celebrate being free? And then I pondered in the book that maybe it was because the mothers of the South was crying for their lost husbands and sons in the Civil War that we couldn't celebrate it. That's what I thought. That we couldn't be happy. Yay, we free, we free. And then like around you is like 15 white folks dead. And if you stood there and said, oh, I'm happy we're free, and all them white folks is dead, they would shoot you. They would say, now you're really free. So you couldn't celebrate. You couldn't celebrate. So I'm so happy now to have lived long enough to be able to openly celebrate our successes and victories in this country. We can wear our hair the way we want to. I can't even tell you. When I stopped working mainstream, the best thing about that was I never had to put another permanent in my hair. Never. Never had to sit on another dryer. Never had to smell lye. I never had to smell lye. I started smelling lye like that at 6 years of age. They was burning up my baby hair. But not before my mother and them burned it up with a straight comb. Because to them, they didn't want any appearance of being African. They didn't want that. You had to show that they had to show that they were mainstream. Your hair was straight, not in an afro or a cornrow, which we know now are beautiful styles. But no, then you were deemed to be uncivilized. So as long as you made that hair straight and put as much grease as you could in it to make it lay down, you were acceptable. I ain't make the rules, y'all. I didn't make the rules. It was like that when I got here. And apparently gonna be like that when I leave. So, y'all see now I'm trying to walk it in the core when I don't have to hold on. And my legs get stronger and stronger. So they was kind of embarrassed about it. They were embarrassed because they didn't know a lot. And now I want to say, what's to be embarrassed about? If someone stops you from learning and you don't know, it's not for you to be embarrassed. It's for the ones that were stopping you. And as we did, as Frederick Douglass did, he learned to read. Of course, someone taught him when he was a little younger. And then I think she got in trouble, he got in trouble. But he would go around picking up pieces of paper, like newspaper and stuff like that, which you weren't supposed to do, and put it together. And he learned to read. Okay. I'm going to slow me down a minute. Ooh, I want some water, y'all. Ooh. Whew, there you are. So, and then others learn to read. And my daughter was reading before, my daughter was reading and had a library card before she went into kindergarten. She was in Reading is Fundamental. And she always had a book, always had books. You see? Because once we were given the chance, don't get mad at us, because we're taking advantage of it. I was talking to a friend, I think it was Penn, and Facebook friend, and she said, you know, like, it's so bad. She could leave the country. I'm paraphrasing. She could leave the country and, like, maybe live better. And I told her that that's a luxury she has. As African Americans, we don't have that. Because all the information and stuff put out about us. We rob all the TV shows. I know when I was a kid, let's say the majority of them were black people. And all the movies, Beretta, Starsky Hutch, the only ones that really showed the trueness of the redneck was the one Dukes of Hazzards. Other than that, it was us. And I know in New York, they couldn't, a shootout, they couldn't wait to get us on the front of the Daily News or the, what's that other rag? The Daily News and the New York Post. Rupert Murdoch's paper. Honey. I don't even know how people even look at Fox. 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 That's what I call it. Fox News. How do you look at Fox? I don't get it. And everything. Remember, if anything happened, you were robbed. Who did they see? A black man. You were killed. A black man. You were stabbed. Hispanic. You were shot, robbed, killed, prostitution, though prostitution was all, everybody was prostitute, sex work, everybody was in sex work, but they highlighted African Americans. So I said, and I was like, I'm not leaving the country. Where am I going to go? Everywhere I go, I'm just so glad we got a Supreme Court justice, and I want Stacey Abrams to win the governor's thing. But I got to tell you, history will tell you, for years, especially since the TV came on, all we was the villains, the desperate, the cursed. Even the New York Times said that in one of its commercials. We give you beauty, we give you art, we give you culture, and the cursed. And then there's brown kids. I wrote them a letter. I was like, really? That's what y'all doing? I ain't bought a paper since. So, it's just, we're almost good. I'm not going anywhere. No history. For years you've been bombarding them. And some of them are just getting those shows. Or, here's a good one. On the shows, hi, I think somebody's saying hi. On the shows, we would always be crying, hi, thanks for coming on the walk. They would be crying and crying, and I mean crying like snot running down their nose outside the lip, and I mean crying. They was always crying and begging, please, please, please. Oh, please. Always. Go back and look at those old things. And I looked and I was like, I ain't leaving this country. And the other countries, we is lower than they lows. I ain't going there. They don't care about their lows. They ain't gonna care about me. And I can tell you now, and any African American knows that if something go down, they ain't gonna get you. They'll get Betsy. They'll get Karen. Tim and Tom. But they ain't gonna get you. So that's another reason why I'm not leaving that country. Something happened. You see how they did those Africans in Ukraine? That's my fear. That's why I won't leave the country. Hey, I can't see who that is. I guess I have to put, hey, is that Diane? Thanks for coming on the walk. Good morning. I can't read it. If I put the cameras closer, then you can't see my feet. And if I put it far away, I can't read the post, but I'll read it as soon as I finish walking. Hey, my FB folks. Ooh, I need some more water. See, that's why I don't go longer than 45 minutes. I get real thirsty. I remember I do this because here's Paul at Planet Fitness. He would always hunt me out. And when I would first come in and get on the treadmill or the Nautilus, I would hunt him out. He always says, if you talk to one another while you're working out, the time goes by so quickly. And it is. We only got 5 minutes left of the 45-minute walk. Already. You can't get faster than that. Yes. Oh, I can't read it, but good morning. I am sweating already. So I want to say, oh, how do y'all like the new camera angle? But I hope you like it. I figure you can see me walking this way, and then I can do this. Because we're about to start the hand exercise. So let me slow it down some. Suck in my gut. Keep my balance. Hey, Diane, I think that's you. But I'll say hey when we get off. Yes. Yes, y'all. I know you don't think finger exercises is important, but I do. I don't have no big, strong man to come and take my tops off my juices. Or open up stuff for me. I got to take these fingers and my know-how and hit it on the bottom and tap it on the side and give it a twist. Whew. Happy June. Happy June. Yeah. Happy June. Can you imagine being in an enslavement situation and everyone who is in your situation around you has taken off, they're gone. Because they're not enslaved anymore. But you don't know it. Because your compound is isolated. Your enslavement is isolated. So you don't know. And then one day the government came and said, oh, people coming back with, oh, it's true, we're free, we're free. And then the slave master said, well, I guess we got to go ahead and tell them. And can you imagine sitting there and hearing, not only are you no longer enslaved, but you have been free for 2 years. They have kept you working to keep keep making money off you. They never told you. We slow this down again. Oh, let's knock out 10. Tuck in your gut. Oh, squeeze your gut, tuck in your elbow. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm one for good luck. Whew. Tuck in your elbow. Squeeze your gut. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one for good luck. Yes! Ha ha ha! Whew! We did it, y'all. We did it. Thanks for coming on the walk. Thanks for the company, y'all. Thank you for the company. Speaking of which, I'm gonna fire that music record. I'm gonna bring my speaker from upstairs down, and it'll be better. A lot of change going on, y'all. Everything ain't connecting at the same time. Yeah. Thank you for the company. Please like, comment, share. Tell a friend, subscribe. I just got about 7 more months I'll be walking. Well, in front of the cameras. But I'm going to walk every day that I'm able to put my feet on the ground. My foot, my feet, my foot and my feet. Yeah, y'all. Whew. I'm hot. I would go and jump in that pool we put together. Oh, yes. Yeah, y'all. We did it. Ha ha. Hey, Diane. Good morning. Thanks for coming on the walk. Okay. Please like, comment, share. Tell a friend. Let's see. I got to find a way to do this without going viral. Thanks for coming on the walk. See you tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Thanks for coming on the walk. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.